Dude, oof. If I were like a Netanyahu fanboy, I'd be like nervous because that's one thing that, like Woody and
he stays in
me,
power until the
like Woody's a Democrat and I'm more right wing. We're pretty fucking aligned on wanting to be done with that whole Middle East shit.
Most young people are too. I'm glad to see that changing in like as left as Reddit is. When I'm on there, I see a lot of people like not happy with what's going on in Israel. And then I look at the right, and there's not a lot, but there's some outspoken voices like Tucker Carlson and like Charlie Kirk formerly. I haven't seen Candace Owens in a while, but
that lady is fucking insane.
You don't like Candace?
She's not a good source for accurate information.
Not at all. No, she seems like didn't she spend like a year saying that the French president was married to his own trans father?
We're kind of sure that's the truth. Like that? We sussed this out.
If that comes out as true, I will eat my hat. Not my favorite one, but one of the other ones.
I get to pick the hat. One of those fishing hats with all the lures.
I'm going to show you sombrero.
I'm going to show you the tiniest of hats.
So many treble hooks.
A little yarmulke. That's all I'll have. The littlest.
Who do you think is less supportive of Israel, the left or the right?
Depends how far you go, right? Because you've got like the neoliberals on the center left, and then you've got like the neoconservatives on the center right. This tiny little kind of, if the media had their druthers, that would be the extent of the Overton window, and they're both very pro-Israel. And then the further left, anti-Israel, because I get the idea that a lot of the further left sees everything through the oppressor-oppressed lens, and they see Israelis as white, and they have a lot of animosity, many of them towards white people, and they see them as oppressors. And then you have the far right, who sees like a lot of those people are like, oh, Jews control everything from your toilet not flushing to fucking the finance industry. And those guys also are like anti-Israel, but not for the same reasons. But there's a confluence of interest there that I think is really scary to a lot of establishment media types.
Yeah, I could see that. And then probably that middle part, there's some dissenters in there too. Like Hal just pointed out that young people are not really into Israel. And I'm like, yeah, I bet there's some young middle people who aren't into Israel.
Yeah. I mean, as the boomers go, Israel's going to lose most of their support.
You know, I've been hearing thoughts like that forever, but we're making new boomers every day. You wait, I'm what, 52 now? Give me 15 years, I'll be pro-Israel for some reason.
That would be hysterical if like Kyle and I had to watch your descent into like it was promised to them. Like 3,000 years ago, it was promised.
Here's the exact answer to our question. Since 2022, since the war in Gaza, unfavorability among U.S. adults toward Israel has risen from 42% to 53%, but it has risen more so among Democrats. Democrats were already at 53%, 18 to 49 were, and now they're at, I got dark mode on, so it's hard to read, 69%. The older they get, like at the 50-year-olds aren't so down on Israel, but among Republicans, they're only now getting to 50% of Republicans being unfavorable toward Dems, and that's only among the 18 to 49s. The old Republicans are very much in Israel's corner, and the average Republican is up to 37% unfavorability. So it's definitely more of a left-leaning thing to dislike Israel.
For sure, yeah. But then amongst young right-wing people, who like
that's here as well. That's
people who only vote Republican because it's the lesser of two evils. Like most young right wing people are very much over that. Like we're kind of sick of being beholden to these foreign countries that don't say. I never hear about a big shipment of awesome stuff showing up from Israel. Hey, Israel sent us an awesome shipment of cool things. That never happened. Find me one news story of them shipping us something cool. We do all the shipping of cool stuff to them.
I just don't like that they've got free healthcare and subsidized education and all that shit, and we're sending them the money. I don't like that at all. You know, that they're living in a utopia over there on our dime.
That rings so true to me. Like, if you're going to get American support, then you can't have the shit we don't. Like that. If you have universal health care and you have like free college, then you're doing well enough to pay you cut back on that shit before you put your palm out.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay. If they had, I would respect that so much. If I heard that in the last 2 years, like actually we're now only providing health care to this age group, and you have to have these grades to get the subsidized education now, because now we have to buy more Iron Dome missiles or more bombs or whatever. They didn't say that. The U.S. is going to have to,
U.S. has to pay more than we ever have. Step it up. We have a problem, therefore you give us money. And it's just like, you fucking beggars. You just take and take and take.
Carpetbaggers. And I hate that, like, we've got those representatives wearing the fucking IDF uniform and flying the Israeli flag. I don't want to see any fucking flags in the Capitol building other than the United States flag. I didn't like the Confederate flag being in there either.
Possibly the Eagles.
Look, the Confederate flag should only be in there if it's from a historical standpoint. If we're in a fucking history museum or something like that, I don't want to see it flying over our buildings, and I don't want to see the gay flag. I don't want to see the trans flag. I don't want to see that black fist thing. I don't want to see the German flag, the French flag, and I sure don't want to see the fucking Israeli flag flown in those hallways or offices. It's absurd. When you see that clip of Ted Cruz talking about, when I was elected, I made it clear that I was going to be the #1 supporter of Israel. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? Aren't you from Texas? Who supports them? Who's the #1 supporter for Texas? Or is it coincidentally also you? You're coincidentally the biggest supporter of the United States and Israel? Pick one. Pick one now, you fucker. I can't stand
other countries' flags do sit wrong with me when they fly in our capital. I honestly would be okay if, like, I don't know, the representative from Missouri flew a Mizzou flag because he supported the football team, or a UGA flag. Yeah, that's American too. Knock yourself out.
State flag.
Yeah,
like that's all fine.
Yeah.
The Don't Tread on Me flag, the colonial flag, any of the flags that are from America's history or past, those are all fine. Especially if you're flying like your state's flag or a football team or a baseball team, any of that's fine.
But if Ted Cruz was flying a Cowboys flag, I mean, he'd be even gayer, but I'd be okay with it.
Do you know why Trump switched channels on Ukraine?
Probably a wealthy donor.
King Charles convinced him, is what they're saying. They're saying that when he was in England and having dinner with King Charles, he convinced him to support Ukraine.
I bet it was a long conversation that did it, and not some person that showed up with money. I bet that's what it was.
Yeah, I do.
You both make good points. I think I can't tell.
Dude, tons of geopolitical hard-struck decisions are changed by fleeting words at dinner parties.
Who would fund such a thing? His are. That's exactly how Trump operates. Trump could literally be sitting there fight side with Dana White, and Dana being like, Israel's a bunch of no goodness. And he'd be like, really? They seem chill to me. They're always very complimentary. He's like, yeah, they talk shit behind your back, though. I've heard.
Dana White showed me a lot of things. Has anyone?
Have you heard?
Haven't heard about
the USS Liberty?
It's called the USS Liberty, and it's called coin clipping, folks. Coin clipping.
He holds up a coin. Look at this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think any people that high up change because of an earnest discussion at a dinner party. I think it's money driven.
I think Trump
both ways. Sometimes I feel like Trump's position just reflects the last person he talked to, and sometimes I think Trump is just bought and paid for, like who he pardons. And I don't know what happened here.
I always go the bought and paid for route, like that.
No,
you don't get that high up in any powerful country without being bought and paid for.
We'd have seen it happen. He does his buying and paying like in front of your face. You'd have just seen that. Strangely, Ukraine bought $10 billion worth of Trump coin. Like, it would just be in your face like that. Just the same way when they gave him that $400 million jet. It's just in your face. Here it comes. Here's my free jet.
And now they have protection like a NATO country. If anyone fucks with Qatar, the United States has an executive order saying that we will defend them.
Good. Do you know how deeply I care about Qatar's national sovereignty? So much I care about whatever the fuck they're doing. What are they doing in Qatar other than like hiring I was going to say hiring slaves, but I don't think hiring's a part of it. I think you just tell them, build the fucking soccer stadium. Then you make them do it.
Yeah, they have slaves.
When I heard they had
me that the left doesn't bark about that one single bit. With all the talk of civil rights and race relations, we have modern day slavery of brown people. But because it's other brown people enslaving them, whoop, throw away the key on that one.
Dude,
it's literally that simple. If Israel was full of brown people, they wouldn't give a fuck about Palestine.
You guys are onto something. Bill Maher did this like years ago when he was like, it's all this respect other people's culture. But no, there is still right and wrong. Not look at this through a different lens. When women have to wear a burqa, it's wrong. When women aren't allowed to go to school, it's wrong. It's not just a culture we don't understand. Geez, like, do you think the women like that rule there? You think that they're happy with how it is? They're not. And I was like, damn, right? Like, you can't just say, I'm Muslim, I marry 11-year-olds. It's right and fucking wrong. What's wrong with you?
I agree. Yeah. These are countries.
Not all of
these are corporations that help me as an American.
All I'm hearing is like
things
Ferrari,
are getting
Lamborghini,
expensive.
and I'm thinking like, yes, they make the coolest machines on the planet, and we fly them. They make the most deadly weapons in the world. They make the Javelin missile system that makes tanks not even matter.
They should put my fucking name on the side of it with how much taxes we're paying, and it's all going to that shit. We should all get our own little name. Not just for like Zionist politicians to sign bombs that are going to kill children waiting for the fucking flour. We should get to write our own shit.
What do you think they were going to do with that flour? Do you know how explosive it can be when it's atomized?
You don't have to tell me, brother.
You ever see a grain silo explosion? How'd you like to see one of those in the middle of Tel Aviv? Not on my watch.
Not on my watch. And we all know Tel Aviv, despite international warning,
Taylor,
has so many grain silos.
Do you think they would be crawling through the sand with machine gun fire over their heads for flour if they were just hungry? No, they're making bombs. They're making bombs with the flour.
And I've seen some of those kids, like they'll say, "Oh, one of their legs was blown off." It's throw a fucking like that South African sprinter, throw a little thing on there, and then still a terrorist, still a potential terrorist.
Yeah, the Blade Runner. How would you like to deal with a whole squadron of Palestinian Blade Runners? They jump right over your wall.
They probably would.
Yeah,
they probably would.
I won't.
You're right. We got to be careful because this is one of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is one of those things where I watch the clips and I'm like, wow, this could go either way.
When I watch the Ukraine war, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not sure we're equipped for a modern war. When I watch the Gaza war, I'm like, oh, this is what it's like when you fight people who don't fight back.
Yeah, dude, I saw some graph or whatever, and I saw it on a couple different sites where it was comparing the amount of civilians killed by Russia in Ukraine versus the number of civilians killed by Israel and Palestine. And like on day 2, keep in mind, the Russia-Ukraine shit had been going for like 2 full years. On like day 2 of Israel's bombing in Palestine, they had like 5x'd the total. Like as far as whatever international fucking wartime watchdog.
You read Greta Thunberg's blog again?
Yeah.
Where you getting your data? From Greta?
From Greta Thunberg?
Right? Yeah. You're over there standing with Greta. The rest of us are trying to win a war. Okay.
Dude, I think all her global warming shit kind of retarded in my view, but like, this is a better cause. This is a much better cause.
I want to win as many wars as possible. Let's mix it up with Canada, Mexico, Venezuela.
And not just the people, but the animals. I would take it biblical.
Canada's like a bye week.
I don't even know. I don't know.